not joking. All my guys, them know me.
Hey lovelies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa Oti, and if you're new on this channel, please like this video, subscribe to my channel and click the bell so that whenever I post new content on this channel, you'll be the very first to find out. Wow, you guys, 4 whole years in the UK. Like January 16th, myself and my husband, we packed our bags and headed right to London. Like it was my first time of ever leaving Nigeria, but for my husband it wasn't his first time of leaving Nigeria. It was very much well traveled before we decided to relocate to the UK, and as a matter of fact, it wasn't even his first time of traveling to London, but for me it was my first time of ever leaving Nigeria, and I was over the moon. I was so excited. Now, growing up, I've always had it in my head that I would not want to live in Nigeria. I would not want to have my kids in Nigeria. I want my children to grow up abroad. And on the top of my head, I've always had the US and the UK in my mind. I've lived in Nigeria literally all my life, and finishing school with nothing much to do. I graduated from uni, no job, and I found myself working in the pharmacy and supermarket store as a sales rep, earning 20,000 naira. Yes, guys, I was earning 20,000 naira a month. I was just using it to get by with high hopes that I was going to jackpot one day. Or I will land myself a good job. Unfortunately, we got to know about the UK, and my husband wrote braverman, wrote his IELTS, traveled to the UK to write his PLAB 2, and got a job as a medical doctor in the UK. And of course, we got married, and I came into the UK as his dependent. And since then, I won't say it's been so beautiful, but I know that I am living my dream life in the UK. No jokes. Yes, I am. Anyway, guys, before I start sharing my experience with you guys and the lessons that I've learned so far living in the UK for 4 whole years, you guys take a moment and admire me. Admire this beautiful girl slaying in this beautiful hair. So guys, this hair was made by a hairstylist called Mercy Do on Instagram. I'm going to leave a name on your screen and the link to our social media account in my description box. She did this hair in less than 5 hours. See, my kind of person, I don't like braid. This is my 3rd braid in the UK. I don't like braid because I used to feel like it's very, very painful and I don't have the time to sit for long. So I just wear my wig and off I go. But frankly, when she made this hair, I did not even feel any pain. Like 0 pain, just the natural feeling of having a new hairdo. But you know, the pain of stretching your neck and all that, not at all. I slept very well, and the hair is so beautiful, neatly done. And trust me guys, she's very much affordable. She is right in Yorkshire, so if you're in Sheffield, Leeds, Huddersfield, Manchester, anywhere in the UK, she'll be right on your doorsteps to make you look really beautiful. Thank you so much, Mercy, for this my beautiful hair. I really appreciate you guys. Please show her love, patronize her, tell her you're coming from Melissa, and you know, so you can look beautiful like myself. Now let's continue the video. I've shared this experience before on this channel. I was very excited about leaving Nigeria, and then when I came to the UK, I had these mixed feelings. As a matter of fact, I started feeling bad because one, I could barely understand their accent. You know, when they are speaking their any. I've shared this before on this channel. Like, I could barely understand them. I missed my train 7 times because I could not understand their accent. I missed my bus 7 times. You know, then coming to the UK, trying to get a job hunting. I didn't land myself a job. As soon as I landed, it took about a month-ish before I could get a job. Like, at that point, I just needed to do something. Like, I just needed money to start entering. I need to make my pound. Like, can I land myself a job? I just need to make my pounds. I need to start counting. I mean, this is someone that was earning 20k in Nigeria. And in my head, I was always converting money. Guys, don't be like me. I was always converting. Something about moving from Africa to the UK, especially if you're not well traveled, is that you're going to find yourself converting. For instance, you want to buy a top and then you check the price and you see 25 pounds. You're like, 25 pounds, and then your brain, you convert it to naira. You're like, 25 pounds. That's literally like, I'm not sure, maybe 20k or 90k. Like, for one top, no, I would jump. If you do that, you find yourself not enjoying the system, not buying things for yourself. That was my experience. I could barely buy things for myself because I was always converting. Don't be like me. Don't convert. Understand the fact that you're earning in pounds. So, I mean, you can't earn the pounds and spend in naira. That's you being selfish to yourself. You're earning in pounds and you're spending the equivalent. So, relax, okay? And also, I remember my very first interview in this country. I didn't get the job because I could not understand the accent. Like, it was a group interview. The interviewer would just throw a question and you discuss it, right? People were discussing, they were saying a lot of things, and I was just staring because I could not understand them. It was a very big problem for me. But finally, I got myself a job, and I'm still very much grateful for that job till date because they really helped me. They shaped me in so many ways. I learned a whole lot on that job. I got to know that in the UK, trust nobody. Like, you know that mentality in Nigeria where you trust easily, like you can easily just start talking to people about things, about your problems, about how you feel. Like, naturally we are very expressive as Africans, as Nigerians, we are very expressive. But in the UK, I have learned that being expressive does not pay. Rather, learn to hide your feelings. It's not everything you see or you hear that you talk. Sometimes you might be feeling somehow about a particular thing, but you don't have any evidence. Evidence is key. If there is no evidence, it's never happened. That's one thing about the UK. So you have to learn how to talk, when to talk, and always keep your evidence. Like, for instance, if you're in a fix, you're in a problem, don't call the person. Type it as a text message or on WhatsApp or as a mail. Make sure there is an evidence. There is a proof. There is something you can show. I think I've shared on this channel how I lost my first job. I was always talking too much. I trusted a lot and I got betrayed. And since then, it has shaped me so much that now, before I can trust you, especially at work, I don't even talk. Today's Melissa will not tell you anything. You will not know anything about her except she wants you to know. And that is what the UK does to you. It shapes you in a way that you know when to talk. You don't just talk anyhow. The fact that your colleague is a fellow black like you, is probably a Nigerian or Ghanaian or wherever, your fellow black, does not mean that you have to trust that your colleague. Also, the UK has taught me to be really, really patient. You guys, I used to be very impatient. Very impatient, as a matter of fact. But the UK has taught me to be very patient. Patience is key. If you're standing on the queue, you have to maintain that queue. You don't have to, because you see your fellow black, you now go there and like, okay, please, can I stay in front of you? Please pretend I'm your sister. I know the things we do back then when we were queuing in front of the ATM or in the bank or petrol station. No, you can't do it here. Just wait for your turn. Be patient. And even while driving on the road, like, I've learned to be really, really patient. Okay, back in Nigeria, I wasn't driving. I didn't even own a car. But moving to the UK, I was not got my first car in the UK, and even though I've not passed my driving test, but because he has driven in the UK for more than 3 years, so I'm able to drive the car while he's in the car, basically. So we've been doing a lot of driving recently in preparation for my driving test. And the difference is so clear. Like, everybody just stays in their lane discipline. You know, when someone is coming, you pave way for them. You know, not that drag. You're dragging the road with people, or respecting the road, basically. Like, the UK has really taught me patience. I can probably call myself a really patient person right now. The UK has really taught me that shouting is not the way forward. Normally in Nigeria, I would just be shouting. Like, if you offend me, like, I can really shout. But yeah, I realized that, like, for instance, let's say you go to the store and there's something happened between you and the store assistant, like there's an altercation. You don't just start shouting at the store assistant or the store rep or even a fellow customer like you. You buttress your point better when you're calm, and you will earn your respect. That, in fact, they will listen to you when you buttress your point in a very calm tone rather than shouting. If you're shouting, they can just decide not to even listen to you. What are you going to do? Are you going to hit them? So the UK has really taught me to be really patient. Like, before you act, think. In all aspects of my life, I've grown. Like, I have grown so much. Luckily, in the UK, I've been able to grow my YouTube channel to about 22,000 subscribers in like a year and some months. I'm going to be 2 years on YouTube in April. I'm making this video in February and I'm already at 22,000 subscribers. This is coming from someone that is not very consistent on YouTube. You guys already know that I'm not like the most consistent person. I just dish out content at my own convenience, right? Of course, living in the UK has given me a huge opportunity to be able to share my experience on YouTube. And of course, you know what comes with being on YouTube, you get paid. And being in the UK also, I've been able to work with brands. I can say I've worked with over 35 brands in a space of a year, because I started working with brands about March, April-ish last year, and in a year I have worked with over 35 brands. That is a huge flex to me, and all times to living in the UK, because most times they reach out to you, they ask for your demographics, like they want to see where your audience is largely from. And my audience, of course, is from the UK, Nigeria, and the US, and I think South Africa, Canada, I'm not quite sure, but UK, Nigeria, US is topping my audience. So when I send my demo to them, they're very happy for me to work with them, be able to advertise for them, and of course I get paid for doing that. So living in the UK has really like shaped my life in so many ways. And even regarding the patience thing, there's sometimes you work with brands, there might be an issue that will come up, let's say payment issue and all that. But living in the UK has shaped me in a way that I'm so professional when I'm dealing with brands. I don't just, start, disturbing them for my money. So, because sometimes some brands say, okay, when you upload the video, then we can pay you. Sometimes you upload the video on a Friday and they tell you they will pay you on a Monday. The Monday comes and they tell you they'll pay you on a Wednesday. Things like that. Normally you'll be so angry and just want to drag them and all that. But I just deal with them with so much calmness, and at the end of the day, I get paid. This is the handwork of living in the UK. I'm not even kidding. Melissa in Nigeria will not be so patient with you in that manner. No way. But now I just realized that shouting, fighting, using swear words, they don't work. They just don't work. But stress your point in a very professional tone and using very professional language, and you will get heard. You will get listened to. Believe me, it works. And of course, we've grown from a family of 2 to a family of 5. Yes, guys, you guys already know that's people that have been watching my videos constantly. You guys know I'm a mom of 3, and I have 3 of them in the UK at no cost, 0 cost. I had maternity exemption, so I could get my medication without paying for what do they call it? Without paying a fee. I know there's a fee they pay. I've never really paid for that fee because your girl has been giving birth back to back. But yeah, you pay for a fee before you can get your medication. Yeah, I don't know the fee. I'm so sorry, guys. I've forgotten. I used to know, but I've forgotten what it's called. If you remember what the fee is called, please let me know in the comments section. That's if you live in England. Like the care, it's amazing. You get everything free. Every single thing was free, and I'm not joking. I've never had kids in Nigeria, so I don't really know what it's like. And living in Nigeria, I wasn't always visiting the hospital. If I was ever sick in Nigeria, it's definitely malaria and typhoid, which I would just take my anti-malaria and I'm fine. So I've never really had cause to like sleep overnight in the hospital. So I can't tell what the medical system is like in Nigeria. But I mean, from what I hear from people, from what I read on social media, the medical system is in shambles. But here in the UK, they attend to you, even though sometimes there can be a bit of delay with getting to your GP and stuff like that. That's because the system is really overwhelmed and less staff, more people, for which I understand. That's where the patient comes in. But the most important thing is that when you finally get in contact with these people, they try out as much as they can to give you the best of care. So I'm really grateful for that. I always say that NHS is free, even though some persons will always come in my comment section to argue with me that I pay for national insurance. How much do I even pay for national insurance? To be honest, you can't even compare the amount you pay for national insurance to the free healthcare you get from the UK. If they should decide that, okay, for every single free healthcare you get in the UK, you pay for it, a lot of people will not even be able to afford it. So that national insurance does not in any way equate to the medical attention you get when you fall sick. For instance, if you have this life terminal illness, threatening life illnesses, they are still going to treat you free. You still don't have to pay, even though I know the waiting list can be really exhausting and tiring. But yeah, at the end of the day, we just have to be grateful. So yeah, thank you, NHS. Of course, since my husband came here under the skilled worker route, he came here as a doctor, so we did not pay IHS. Like also in the UK, I have learned to do things alone. Like you can call me a superwoman. Like currently I have my mother-in-law around who has been helping, and she keeps wondering how I've been doing it all this while, because looking at the workload, how have you been doing it? I have a 3-year-old and I have my twins who recently just turned 1. So you guys just stick around. I'm going to upload their 1-year birthday vlog probably this week. Yeah, this weekend. I'm really struggling with editing now, but I'm definitely going to upload it. Like it's been a whirlwind, basically. I've been able to navigate my way around looking after these children alone. If I was in Nigeria, I would definitely have nannies. I mean, or even my sister would be around, or sister-in-law. Someone would definitely be around all the time. But yeah, my mom came when I had them, but when she left, the reality set in, like I was always busy up and about with these kids. But here I am, like the UK has really made me to be really strong and less dependent. I can probably call myself an independent woman. I mean, from someone that was earning 20,000 to now what I earn now. I mean, I'm on YouTube. I earn from YouTube, and so living in the UK has really helped me. I don't know if I would have been where I am now on YouTube if I was in Nigeria. We all know the struggles of being a content creator in Nigeria. But living in the UK, here I am striving, doing it. Like, I'm really so grateful. I'm really, really grateful to the UK for having me. It's been a very beautiful 4 years, really beautiful, and I'm so grateful. Also in the UK, guys, someone is always watching. Believe me, someone is always watching. So everywhere I find myself in the UK, I try as much as I can to put on my guard. I don't loosen my guard because I know there are cameras everywhere, guys. There are cameras everywhere. The estate where I am, as you're entering, there's a camera. Everywhere. My car, there's a camera where I can get to see everything that happens. If you touch my car right now, I am going to know. Do you get the point? I'm going to know. Like, literally, there's camera every single where in the store, on the roads, in the supermarkets, schools, uni, everywhere. So you have to be really, really careful. Even taxi, you bought a taxi, there's a camera there. So you have to be really, really careful with every single thing you're doing. Even at a place of work, there's a camera. Now, cameras can be planted in any way or in any form. So you have to be really, really careful. That's something I always tell myself. Melissa, be careful. People are always watching. Even something as little as you have your child is throwing tantrum and you start hitting your child, you'll be so surprised that you'll get a letter. I remember we were traveling to Manchester and my husband mistakenly went through the bus lane, right? It didn't even take up to 2 weeks and he got a letter. He was fined straight up to pay, I think, about £100 or thereabouts. When anytime he makes significant mistake on the road, like not intentional, let's say he unintentionally makes a mistake while driving, he always gets a letter. Even something like this where parking where he should not park or exceeding his parking time, he always gets a letter. And what does the letter entail? Money. Fine. Is always fine. So that shows that any rule you see that is stated at the car park or on the road does apply. Believe me, it applies. If you disobey that rule, if you flood that rule, you're most likely going to get a letter. Like every day, your full details is everywhere. It's not difficult to trace you. Every single thing is wired. So that is what I have really, really learned. So guys, in a nutshell, having spent 4 years in the UK, am I in a place to advise anyone about living in the UK? Definitely. Do I advise anyone to move to the UK? Yes. I strongly advise you move to the UK if you're sure that the UK is for you. And by that, it means you must have watched video, checked on Google, literally get a handful of what living in the UK is like. There's some persons that tell you they can never live outside of Nigeria. They're only just to travel. And then they are back to Nigeria. They love Nigeria. They love their country. They love Africa, wherever they are from. They would never live there. That's fine. That's perfect. But for you that is really struggling in your country and you feel like, oh, you want to move abroad, you want a better life for yourself, for your family, for your children, do I advise you to move to the UK? Yes, definitely. I advise you to move to the UK. As far as you're very hardworking, you're most likely going to make it. And so far, do I have any regrets living in the UK so far? I don't think so. I don't know if I would have achieved what I have achieved there. Like one thing about the UK is that there's an opportunity for you to grow, guys. There are so many courses online that you can do free of charge. Like currently I'm doing a course online and it is so free, like so free. That's the thing. There's always room for you to grow. When you live in a certain society like this car is your starting point. You can literally do anything and everything. That's why I always advise people, when you live in the UK, for instance, don't limit yourself. Don't feel so comfortable at that menial job that you're doing. Don't feel so comfortable earning minimum wage, earning peanuts. Always aim for the best. I understand that a lot of things can prevent you from achieving your dreams, like family, lifestyle, and all that. So I don't really understand. But if you have the opportunity to grow, please do that. Please grow. Don't just feel relaxed. Just so many people did. But at the end of the day, you're able to come out from that struggle. So trust me, you're definitely going to get there. Now, lastly, will I leave the UK at some point in my life? That is what I really do not know now, because so far I'm really chilled. I feel like we've achieved like the basic things that we need to achieve in the UK. I mean, for people that have lived in the UK for 4 years, we've achieved a lot. To be very honest and frank, we've achieved a lot. So much, so much. So at this point, we've gotten like the basic things in life. All we need to do is to keep working out, to keep acquiring more. But at this point in our lives, we are definitely not complaining. We are just grateful to God. So about leaving the UK for another country, I don't know for now. Really, I really do not know for watching this video. And please make sure to follow Mercy Do for your hairdo. You guys, you can tell that this hair is slayage, is on point. I love my hair. I love this color. And if you do, please hit her up on Instagram. She's very much mobile. She'll be right on your doorstep. So thank you guys for watching this video. And of course, I will see you all in my next one. Bye, guys.